Alright, this is a tutorial on how to input level 1 behavior infractions into Zangle. We are no longer going to be using paper or documents in order to put in level 1 behaviors. Level 2 we will continue with our paperwork that we normally use, but level 1s are no longer going to be used. You're going to go directly to your student profile in Zangle. Up at the top here, you're going to see, right here, you're going to see an icon that has a folder with two little gears on it. When you click on that, that is going to open up Student Behavior Level 1 Incidences. Alright, right here it has available students, so a drop-down menu, you get to choose the student. You can put in the initial of the last name in that box. So if I look for a student, I can just go straight to that letter. If it's not that student, I just open it up and I can see all the different H's. Okay, so chose my student. Over here on the right hand side, you'll see Add New Incident. So I'm going to click on Add New Incident. So I click on it. Now I have two boxes, and there are 4 different pieces of information you need to put in. Obviously, you have incident, so you're going to put in the information about that incident, who you notified for that incident, and over here on the other box, who was involved, and a place for you to put remarks, and then also the motivation of the student when they misbehaved. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is put in the date, so make sure the date is correct. Click on the calendar icon and we'll open up the calendar. You click on one, then it'll close back, and that will be the date that you've selected. Then you choose the type of infraction. So these are all the level 1 behaviors that we have here. You can choose one of those for your whichever one applies. Then who it's being reported by, so whatever teacher is reporting this, whatever classroom it happened in, whether it's in a hallway or in the classroom. Usually it's in the classroom. Choose the classroom teacher. Location and time are two fields that don't really work. I mean, obviously they only have one choice here, and that's a locker, and there's a lot of behavior that happens in the book lockers, but that's not the only place. Also, they don't give you a choice for any of the time frames, so choose. You can skip those two. Notification, you will need to add something in here for every level 1, or it will not allow you to input the information into Zangle. So you need to have who you contacted, when, and how. So that's a phone, cell phone, text message, whatever. Smoke signals. Okay, then the involvement. Perpetrator, usually it's a perpetrator, or it might be an accomplice. I'm not sure why they have victims in here, because you're not really writing level 1 referrals for a victim or a witness, but it's usually an accomplice or perpetrator. Primarily it's perpetrator. I've never seen accomplice. And then whatever intervention that you put in place. So according to the classroom management plan, whether it's a radical rethink or whether it's a refocus sheet, you'll remember these, and your team leaders will go over this whole process with you. Now, our language and the language that is on here does not match. So we're going to have some discussions about what we're going to use for each of the interventions so that we're consistent. I am going to try to talk with the powers that be and get some interventions that match our classroom management process, so we'll be able to use those. But until then, we're going to have to come up with something that makes sense. Then you're not referring them to anybody, because that's really about what administrator is handling it, but there's no administrator handling level 1s, so you can just leave it blank. Then you do need to put in some remarks, so put in some details. This is where you can put the date and the time and the place, specifics around the incident. I do ask you not to include names of other students, so you can just use language like the student hit another student. Don't use specific names in your referrals. That goes for level 2 as well. Then you also want to choose a motivation. So you can choose getting peer attention or avoiding task or activity. Choose any of those that you think might be the motivator for the student misbehavior. If you have no idea, which many times we don't, you can choose unknown. Then you're going to click Save. Now it comes up with this window right here if you have not filled in one of the aspects. So who, when, where, and or remarks are required. So you have to press OK, and then you're going to need to go back and fill in who, when, and how you contacted them. So maybe you contacted their cell phone. Then you're also going to need to make sure you have comments. So make sure you have your comments. Then you click Save. And now it's been saved. And now you can see up here at the top, it has been entered in the date, the type, behavior, attendance, contract was the intervention. And you can click View to find out all the details that you had before. And that is it. If you have any questions, come on down to my office. Okay, talk to you soon.